All right, welcome everybody to this week's edition of the Bison Overtime Show. I'm Grant Hubbard alongside Ethan Nybox. We have a very special guest this week. We are humbled and honored to have the head coach of NDSU, Tim Polasek, join us. Coach, thanks for the time. We really appreciate it.
No, thanks for coming over. Anytime we can help out, guys that are going to be future broadcasters, and making all the calls and making us coaches look bad, it's always fun.
I appreciate the time. Just first question for you. Talk about the regular season as a whole. What stands out to you the most this unbeaten season?
Yeah, when you look back on it, there was obviously a bunch of tough road challenges, that aren't easy to go into different places and play well and to execute. That's number one. And then I think our continued growth and development up front, both offensive line-wise and defensive line-wise, we feel pretty good about where that depth's at. And that's kind of where it all starts for us. But then, I would circle and look at, how many different playmakers. I think we've got 6 or 7 guys that have 5 or more 20-yard plays on offense. And then all of a sudden, Darius Gibbons is making some plays, some INTs. Toby really had a great back half of the season. Keenan Wilson continues to come on. So I really like how we're practicing. I really like how we're focused on, just the next day and staying in that mindset and trying to eliminate distractions daily.
Coach, how much pride do you take in the fact that you guys went 3-0 in the Dakota games?
It means a lot to me. I talked about that, I think, day one when I got here in the introductory meeting to the team, that all the Dakota games, not just, South Dakota State and the Rock, South Dakota and North Dakota have improved so much.
Yeah.
And I thought to make a point of dominating the Dakotas or trying to get that done was going to be imperative to our success, not only on the field, but also year-round in recruiting.
Yeah.
You were recently named a finalist for the Eddie Robinson Award. Your boss won it twice. You won that award twice. What does that mean to you that you're up for that award?
It just means the staff has done a good job. I really mean that. I think those individual awards, anytime that you're talking about a leadership award, you're really talking about the plan that you laid down and then the execution of the assistant coaches. And so that would be an honor to represent, our staff, the support staff, the equipment people, with that type of award. And obviously the players are the ones that always position you, for those kind of opportunities. And so they've done a really good job.
What stood out to you this year about the way Cole has played?
Well, he's played really well in the 2-minute drill. I think, fall camp, he obviously was proving that he could throw it and do some things. In the throw game, we know what kind of runner he can be, but we really haven't had to tap into the quarterback run game much.
Yeah.
Just his execution before the end of halves, with the 2-minute drill, and then his poise and leadership skills are probably even better than I thought. I've only known him for 2 years, and he's doing such a good job. The one thing that he stepped up from game one was delivering on the deep ball. If he struggled on one thing in fall camp, it was connecting on post balls and vertical balls outside, and so he's just done such a great job with that.
What stands out to you? We have the bracket there below. What stands out to you on your side of the bracket there?
Well, obviously the 2 Missouri Valley teams, number one. I'm really curious, Villanova, Harvard, Lehigh. I kind of connect all those schools because they're more East Coast than anything. There's been a lot of good defense played out there. We've had some real battles, with Wofford in the past and Lehigh. So I'm interested in that. And then, obviously all of our attention right now is on Southeast Louisiana and the Illinois State game. We're actually prepping for Southeast Louisiana a little bit early in the week, and then we'll transition in the middle and the backside of the week to Illinois State. But that's kind of what stands out to me.
Oh, real quick, Ethan. Is it surprising you that UC Davis got the 8th seed?
I don't look at that stuff enough as far as following who's beaten who. I trust the committee.
Yeah.
I know this, and I feel this way from growing up and playing softball and baseball and travel basketball, right? There's a bracket. You have to beat the best to be the best.
Correct.
And bring on the competition. And I'm just so grateful that the deal goes through Fargo where our student body, our fan base can get behind us and we can sleep in our own beds.
Coach, you had a tough game in Normal earlier this year, and you might play them again. How do you feel about that?
Well, they're a tough, gritty outfit. I think anytime you're playing, we got to be careful not to dig too hard at new game plans and this, that, and the other thing, and really keep it about the players and execution of fundamentals and technique. They're a physical group that's played us tough for years, right? One of my favorite games is the Illinois State game in 2014, and I have such a great deal of respect for Brock Spack and the job that they do, not only coaching on the football field, but their professionalism and how they go about recruiting.
You've been here enough. You know the system of the playoffs, but what are your keys to a deep playoff run?
Yeah, I think not rushing through the prep, not trying to hurry up to Saturdays, really valuing this opportunity, to compete, to improve, and to be tough daily, right? And I think the one thing that we're always cautioning against, we want these big moments in our program, and we've seen those so often, whether it's running across the field to get the rock or a game-winning touchdown pass to Raj last year. You know, you just can't hurry to get to those moments. You know, you got to do what's necessary to have a shot to win. You got to line up and make people beat you. You got to play good, clean, tough football. And honestly, take them one at a time, because you never really know when you're going to play the national championship opponent.
Right.
That's happened. We played Georgia Southern twice. Those games were in the semifinals.
Yeah.
And we felt like those were the national title games.
Correct.
And Don Morton pointed that out to me years and years and years ago, and we're so grateful to gather that information and apply it.
Obviously, you got a lot of ways to go, but potentially playing UND in the semis, how cool would that be?
Well, I don't know if it'd be cool. I know that they're a tough outfit, but I think for the fan base again,
Yeah.
and I think for the dome and for it to be like super electric and just another little added element.
Yep.
You know, it's already a big deal playing in the semis, but when you play a rival, especially if it's an in-state one, that's a pretty significant deal for the state of North Dakota.
And you talked about that Georgia Southern game. Is that your favorite game at NDSU, or what is your favorite game and why?
Yeah, Georgia Southern 2012 would be up there for sure.
Okay.
And then I probably would go to Iowa because that game was so impactful on me getting the opportunity to interview there. And then I'm so grateful for having to coach in the Big Ten those 4 years. And without that win and how we did it, you know, we kind of beat them at their own game, right? Physical toughness, wear somebody down, line up and kick a field goal. That was pretty remarkable. Those two games stand out quite a bit, yes.
Is there a play call you made as the OC that stands out to you? And also, what is one play you wish you could have back? Do you have those in your mind at all?
Yes, yeah, both of them. Carson Wentz to R.J. Erzendowski traveling north in the Fargo Dome against South Dakota State, because Carson was so composed and so poised on the fake. We called it slow fake 63, you know, Chevy or whatever the play call was, but he was so intentional about the ball fake, stood up tall, and man, did he deliver a great pass. And then along those same lines, Jake Dickert, who's the head coach at Wake Forest now, me and him were kind of in a head-to-head cat and mouse game, and Easton Stick did not read the corner out on a smash concept very well that they had been playing man on. They adjusted to cover 3. And so I wish I could have that back to get Easton, hey, be disciplined on the corner, you know, make sure that you see it before you seize it kind of thing, and those are the two calls that
What game was that, by the way?
It was South Dakota State, and I think we took the L because we beat them,
Okay.
in the playoffs.
16 then. Okay, gotcha.
Coach, you obviously want to focus on 2025, but is there a player that maybe could come on in the playoffs or in 2026 that hasn't played a ton lately?
Oh, wow. No, I just look forward, like, you know, Chris has had a good season. He's a good captain for us, but just opportunities, right? Like, Chris and Raj still, there's some big plays that are coming from those two guys. I think Jackson Williams in the special teams game, I know he's done some things already, but, like, those are some guys that stand out. And then I'm not sure that Breek is not ready to play his best football. I mean, he looked really good the last week and the week before. I think he's fresh. I think we've done a good job of keeping his legs really good. Younger people, we kind of got who we got, and we're kind of rolling with them, right? Like Matthew Stembrotten seems to be picking up the pace. You know, I mean, he's really triggering and playing faster right now. I could see him having a couple of smash plays. And Jack Iliano and Toby have been so solid, but I think Stembrotten may be a guy that could flash, and maybe Vanderpool as well.
Two last fun questions for you. So Thursday night, you do your radio show, right? Then you go on your date night, right? So Thursday night with Jill, if it's up to you, what's the dinner plan looking like?
Well, it's kind of out of our control.
Yeah.
We all pick, both of us pick 8 to 10 places before the season, and we put, you know, sticks in a jar, and we draw every week. So it just kind of depends on what's been drawn or what I'm
But if it's up to you, like, where are you going?
Anything Mexican. Plaza Ateca is right down the road from our house.
If you can park in there, it's a great spot.
Yeah, that's right. Well, we usually find a
I think you can find a spot.
Yeah, that's probably number one on my mind. But I do enjoy. I don't like being specific because we go to so many different places in Fargo because it's one of the best things about Fargo is the food and the restaurants. And Harry's.
Yes.
Harry's the other night didn't disappoint at all. That's a fabulous addition to Fargo. I'm looking forward to that.
All right, last question for you. Thanksgiving food you have to have. Plus the Packers are on Thanksgiving, so that helps you. So what's on the Polasek plate?
Mashed potatoes topped with sweet corn for sure.
Okay.
You know, smoked turkey over ham.
Okay.
And then I like anything green bean, casserole, or hash browns on the side.
Okay.
And so I'm pretty open. As long as mashed potatoes, corn, and turkey is there, I'm happy.
Is there a dessert you got to have? Is there a pie you got to have?
Not really. I enjoy pumpkin pie, but that's not what what I think about. I always think about if I get the opportunity with the schedule to smoke a turkey myself.
Okay.
That's up there for me. That's what it's all about.
All right. That's all we got for you. Thanks,
Thank you,
Coach. We
guys. I
appreciate
appreciate
the
you.
time.
Thanks for coming on.
You guys doing a great job.
Thank you. So we'll head back to the studio for the rest of the Bison Overtime. Welcome back inside our Fargo studios, everybody. Thanks to Coach Polasek for joining us. That was really cool for us to do. Thanks to Coach Polasek. Thank you. That's all we can say about that.
Yeah, I don't think he'll understand how much that meant to us. That was just super cool. I mean, to think that when I was in high school, 2 years from now, I'd be interviewing the head coach. That was awesome. But before we go any further, I have to present something. The 2025 Bison Overtime FCS Pick'em Trophy goes to none other than Grant Hubbard.
I'd like to thank the Academy for this honor. I'd also like to thank Montana State and Dennis Lynch, the San Jose State kicker. You saved me on this one, so I'll just put that there. Also, just before we go any further, you went through how we picked overall.
Yep.
He should have won this. Let's just be clear. If he didn't pick Southern Illinois or you got greedy with other schools, you probably would have won this.
Yeah, I picked 2 FBS schools to lose to FCS schools. I picked I picked 20 upsets. I picked a third of the games I picked upsets. That's probably not going to work in FCS football, but it is what it is. We always got next year.
I only picked an underdog 9 times, and I won 5 out of 9, so
yeah.
I'll take that and run with it. But you name the statistic, like picking favorites, you were better than I was. Picking the home team, you were better than I was. I got lucky on a couple FBS games, and Montana State going on a 10-0 run there to seal that one kind of helped me out as well. Couple finalists, a couple players and coaches have been named for finalists. Tim Polasek was named a finalist for the Eddie Robinson Award. We asked him about that in the interview. Logan Kopp has been named a Buck Buchanan Award finalist for the second time in his career at NDSU.
Yeah.
And Cole Payton and was Bryce Lance on that list as well? He was for the Walter Payton Award. I doubt that they're both going to be the top 3 when they at the awards banquet in Nashville, but Cole should definitely be up there.
Yeah, Bryce. Let's be honest, he's the best player in the country. I think overall he's going to be a top 3 round draft pick. Logan Kopp surprised me a little bit. I think that's the seniority a little bit. Donovan Woolen, I think, had a better year, but I mean, it's good to see Bison on the list.
All right, big issue topic, hot topic, so to speak, around campus this week has been the coaching carousel, because there are 15, 20 open FBS jobs right now. The California job just opened. Justin Wilcox got canned at California. So 2 names in FCS have come up pretty much each of the last couple of cycles. Brent Vigen, the head coach of Montana State, who flew commercial to go to Corvallis to meet with Oregon State, and Tim Polasek is the one who has been brought up in those discussions. He's been named a finalist by one source in Oregon that he's a finalist for that job. Nobody else has backed up that, so we have no idea if that's real or not. And also Oregon State wants to talk with the Justin Wilcox from Cal, just got canned, as well as an assistant from Alabama who wants to be interviewed for that job. So I think Dom asked Jeff Kolpak this on Monday. If you had to say it right now, is Tim Polasek the head coach in 2026? I think he is.
I think he is. If you had to ask me 2 years from now, I think, I don't know. Because Wisconsin might open up, Iowa might open up.
Yes.
But we love Tim. We hope he stays. He's awesome. Just meeting him and how good he was in that interview, that was so cool.
Not many coaches give the kind of access
that
he gives. Let's put it that way.
He's awesome. I hope he stays.
Now, the thing with Vigen, is he going to be this coach at Oregon State? I'd say there's about a 60% chance he doesn't leave Oregon without a contract.
I think he's gone. If it's not Oregon State, he's somewhere. I think he's been building for this. I mean, he's got the best resume of any FCS coach right now. He doesn't have the titles. He doesn't have that. He's got wins. He's going to be an FBS coach.
I mean, he took Montana State from a team that was on its way up, and he made it a national championship contender. Oregon State is down in the dumps. I mean, they are terrible right now. I think they have one win, and it's against an FCS school. They don't have any kind of ground to stand on. So I think Brent Vigen could help them out with that. As well, the Colorado State job is open. Yeah. That's another job that Tim Polasek may take a look at. His agent is communicating with schools, so we'll see how that goes. But there was a football game played on Saturday, and it was one that we expected to be a blowout. It was the regular season finale, and it was just a game that we were expecting to be a blowout. Let's just put it that way. So NDSU and St. Thomas from the Fargo Dome. Here it is in the regular season finale. Eli Ozick with the touchback, and Barika Penu, the 2nd and 2 with a cut and a crease. He breaks Rod Finley's ankles, and he's loose for 74-yard house call. It's only fitting a Cheyenne Mustang wins a horse race to the end zone. 7-0 NDSU.
A good Paul Allen reference there.
Yeah.
And he's loose. Yeah, Barika's really, he's having an outstanding year. And we heard Tim say in the interview with him that his best might be ahead of him. And
Rod Finley, whoops.
yeah, that'd be scary.
And
if his best
this
ahead
is
of
where
him.
you saw the speed.
Yeah.
There was a difference in speed in this game.
He's got all the tools. It's good to see him get in the end zone.
Amari Powell is in for the injured starter, Andy Peters, and oh boy. Pass is intercepted and airmailed. Darius Givens with the interception.
Say it again. I've said it all year. He's going to be all-conference member. He's having an outstanding year.
First and 10. Cole Payton over the middle guns it to Chris Harris. He picks up 40 yards to the Tommy 22.
Another guy that Coach said could come on here in the playoffs, who's had kind of a quiet year his senior year, but he's a great leader, he said. He's going to have a big playoff.
DJ Scott rumbles, pushes the pile for 15 yards to the Tommy 7 and a fresh set of downs. Second and goal, Barika Penu with a sweet cutback and waltzes into the end zone from 4 yards out. It's 14-0 Bison.
All he does is score touchdowns. He's going to set that record, I'm telling you right now.
He's Chris Carter.
Yep.
Third down and 3 now. Powell drops back, hits Jay-Sean Todd on the wheel route for 28 yards to the Bison 48.
I'd like to see the Facebook comments on that play right there.
Yeah. What is that play? Why can't we give up that play? So Powell isn't expecting a snap and just heaves one over the middle, and when you're laid over the middle, only bad things can happen as Taylon Edey undercuts the route for the pick.
2 games in a row with a pick. Another guy that's just coming into his own here.
Third down and 9 after a blown clip by Mekhi Collins on second down. Cole Payton throws deep to Bryce Lance, who was 5 yards beyond his man for an 81-yard house call. 21-0 Bison.
Yeah, you might not want to let number 5 get behind you. It's a recipe for nothing good. Let's just say that. Especially with Peyton's arm.
The blown clip was a reference to you, by the way.
Okay.
First and 10. Peyton is decked as he lets his pass go, but Jackson Williams catches the ball and for 15 yards. Cole Payton scrambles right and fires, and Ethan, the nearest defender, is somewhere in Shakopee for a 43-yard touchdown pass for Barika Penu.
Yeah, not sure what the plan was there. I mean, you leave the wheel route wide open. I think I could have caught that one, Grant.
You sure?
Yeah, I think I could have. Maybe.
Take your word for it. DJ Scott runs through a gaping hole here on the left side for 16 yards to the Tommy 36 before Rod Finley brings him down after getting his ankles fixed. Third down and 5. Ethan never heard of speed kills because Cole Payton hits Jackson Williams for a 43-yard touchdown. 35-0 Bison.
There's your wide receiver 1 in 2026. He's going to have a massive year next year. I'll write it down right now.
That's 35-0 Bison. Third down and 4. We should have known where this pass was going. Third and 4. Cole Payton finds Rajah Nelson for 22 to the 34-yard line of St. Thomas.
Yeah, third down, you always go to Rajah.
Third down and 8. Payton's going to do some magic here in the backfield for hitting Mekhi Collins. He caught this pass for 11 yards to the Tommy 26.
Relax.
Drive would stall. Eli Ozick, 38 yards. This one just sneaks inside the upright. It's 38-0 in DSU. DJ Scott finds a seam and beats poor Rod Finley to the corner and gets the sideline before being pushed out after a gain of 39.
Kind of runs like Pacheco, you know what I mean?
Yeah, a little bit.
Got that steam.
More missed tackles from the Tommies in the hole leads to a 17-yard run from DJ Scott.
Vintage Bison right there. A-gap power.
Third and 16, Cole Payton on the draw. Rushes for 16 yards, but Rocco DiLeonardi strips Payton, and the Tommies emerge from the mayhem with the football. Payton would leave the game with a bruise on his knee.
Yeah, not great. Fumble, but you're up
But
38.
Nathan Hayes will relieve Payton and sling it to the sideline for Bryce Lance for 16 yards to the St. Thomas 34.
I heard Kyle Emanuel say it on the broadcast. It's not an easy throw.
Hayes threw left, now throws right to Chris Harris for 15 yards to the St. Thomas 16.
Fun fact, I almost got ran over on that play on the sideline.
Take one for the team. Hayes threw inside, now outside. Now he throws a rocket down the heart of the plate to to Bryce Lance for a 9-yard touchdown. It's 45-0 NDSU at the intermission.
If only Bryce had one more year, we'd get to see that connection. Hayes is going to have a big year next year. He's got a rocket.
St. Thomas punts the ball, start the third quarter. True freshman Mikhail Ford back deep, finds a crease, cuts it back towards the middle of the field, and he will score for a 62-yard touchdown. What's in the water in Omaha? Another Nebraska kid with speed.
Am I seeing Jaden Price? I mean, that's what he did his freshman year, returned punts, and he never gave it back. Jackson Williams is really good, but this kid might be faster. I don't know.
Just cuts it back. Maybe a holding call there, but nothing was called.
We'll let it go.
Cuts it up the middle, and he's going to score. St. Thomas will finally get something going. I'd hope so. It's 52-0. As Amari Powell takes this keeper 30 yards rather, to just beyond midfield. I mean, all the backups are in. You should get 30 yards out of play at some point.
Yeah.
St. Thomas gets tricky here as Powell throws to Deshaun Todd, who throws it to Joseph Cook for 26 yards.
Page out of the Patriots book right there.
But the drive would stall, but all hell breaks loose as Jack Wallace muffs the snap on the field goal attempt. He throws and the pass is incomplete. Turnover on downs.
That's when you know you're playing a team that you shouldn't be playing, when those kind of things happen. But the backups did their job. You got to give the Bison credit.
Hayes, out of his own end zone, throws a bullet to Makai Collins, who, caught this pass for 23 yards to the UST 29.
You're not a big Collins fan, are you?
If he catches the ball, I'll be a big fan of him. Later in the drive now, 3rd down and 3. Hayes hits Cade Osterman, who Barishnikovs his way down the sideline for a 24-yard score. It's all Bison here.
This might be my pick to be a newcomer next year. I think he's going to have a big year. The receiving core is obviously not going to be what it is this year next year. I think this guy's going to have a big year.
Get out of the way, center judge, in the end zone for the score. So 59-0 Bison. Powell here is going to get drilled by Alante Burley. Ball is loose and recovered by the Bison.
It's good to see the future of the Bison defense is in good hands when you make plays like that.
One of the rare Georgia natives on this team.
Yeah, it doesn't happen often.
All right, Ethan, you have to name me other teams whose backup kicker can drill a 46-yard field goal, but Drew Klein does just that, and he gets the Bison into the 60s. It's 62-0.
Not the Vikings, I know that.
Yeah, that's true.
They rarely have one good kicker. They do now, though.
Late in the game, Cortez LeGrand coughs the ball up, and St. Thomas recovers deep in Bison territory.
Yeah, kind of. You'll see now they blow the shutout, but it's like you just got to hold on to the ball.
Signs of life from the Tommy offense as Amari Powell gets outside and scores. It's 62-7.
Yeah, I guess you can give him one, whatever. Not a big deal. You're up by
late in the game, trying to score again. Powell drops a snap, a mad scramble, and so he tries to kick the ball, it looks like, and Chance Simon recovers, and the Bison backups on defense stand tall. Where's the clown music when you need it?
Yeah, and the best part is the reaction here. Grant Olson halfway on the field. And he just won the Super Bowl, guys. Get the sideline warning. Who
He's
cares?
still leaping up and down.
Yeah.
There's 7 seconds to go in the regular season, man. So Polasek shaking hands with everybody, and that completes an unbeaten regular season, a 62-7 thrashing of the St. Thomas Tommies. Oh boy, that was ugly to say the least.
Yeah, and realistically, the Bison pitched a shutout. I mean, the one touchdown they gave up was a gift on the fumble, but they did what they had to do, and they got out of there with a win. It wasn't pretty by any means for St. Thomas because I don't know how you win 7 games when you play like that. I mean, I know it's the Pioneers.
And they beat Drake somehow.
Yeah.
They got the auto bid out of the league, or the Pioneers. I don't know how that one works.
They're not good.
No.
They're not good.
They were not good, and the stats back that up. I mean, look at the statistics. I mean, the Bison ran for almost 300 yards, 665 yards of total offense. They had like 500 at halftime, so they really took their foot off the gas. St. Thomas won the time possession battle, though.
Congrats.
They did something right in that game, but again, just dominating effort against a team that, to be frank, was worse than I thought they would be.
I thought they'd have more skilled guys. I mean, you're in the Minneapolis area.
Yeah.
You should get some guys. Bison only had 9 first downs more than them. You want to know why? Because they scored every play.
Correct.
So it's just
because the nearest defender was somewhere back in St. Paul. They weren't even close.
7 yards of carry is ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. And top performers for this week, Cole Payton, another great day at the office, 9 of 12, 279 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. Barika Penu had one of his best days as a Bison, 10 rushes, 109 yards, 3 total touchdowns. Gavin Sell, a freshman linebacker, he's the future of that linebacker spot, 6 tackles, 7 total, 1 TFL. Elijah Wayne, 1.5 TFLs, and that sack to go along with it. Future looks bright.
Yeah, those 2 guys on the right of that graphic are they're the future of that Bison defense. And they're both true freshmen, so I'm very excited to see what they can do. And obviously, Cole Payton got a little bit of a stat pad day.
A little bit.
It was awesome.
Well, he needs it because Bo Brungart's had that like last 3 weeks.
Yeah, he's had that every game.
All right. Last week, we were doing around the FCS for the regular season. Boy, was this – I'm not going to say this weekend was drunk, but it was when they may need a breathalyzer. This one was not
Yeah.
a great week for other schools. Just some ones we want to highlight. Leave us up, Cash, if you can. Montana State, they get the win over Montana, 31-28 in the game that was really fun to watch. We couldn't watch any of it, unfortunately, because the dome and the Wi-Fi in the dome was horrible. Sorry, Ryan Paul, if you're watching. Austin P, they almost pull off a shocker and beat Tarleton State 45-44. That score was wrong. They were this close. They had a goal line play to go for two and win the game, and the quarterback airmailed the wide open receiver on the pick play. That could have cost Tarleton State a top 8 if they weren't careful.
Yeah, and Austin P would have been in the playoffs too.
Yeah.
So it mixed up a lot of things. I was rooting for Austin P, but I mean, how do you miss that throw? I watched that back. How do you miss that?
I was rooting for Harvard, and they got nailed,
Yeah.
45-28. Yale gets the auto bid out of the Ivy League. Doesn't hurt Harvard, though. They still made the postseason, but that was a shocker. Another shocker again. This is what got you back to the picks contest.
Yep.
Illinois State did not show up against Southern Illinois. 37-7 was the final score. So that cost Illinois State possibly a top 8 seed. They're not even hosting a first-round game. They're on the road this weekend.
Yeah, the score should be reversed on the graphic. That's my bad. But anyway, Southern Illinois, they knew they weren't making the playoffs. Illinois State clearly was satisfied with going on the road in the first round. I don't know. You got to show up.
Monmouth, boy, this cost them a playoff spot. They lose to 1-10 Albany, 31-24. Again, no Derek Robertson. He's still out with injury, and that cost them.
Yeah, you cannot lose to the Great Danes. They haven't been good since they haven't recovered since they lost 59-0 in Brookings. That's how bad it's been. Speaking
of the team that they lost to in that semifinal in Brookings, South Dakota State, they pull off a miracle, and they come back to beat UND 34-31 in overtime at the Alaris Center. This great play in Jackrabbit history that got him into the postseason, where Jack Henry's just falling away to his right, and it's really bad defense by UND in the end zone. Graham Goring's wide open.
Yeah, UND, right when we want to give them their flowers for changing the program, they bring us down to earth. It's the same
Make
old,
up
same
your
old.
minds. Are you good or are you not good? I don't know which one they are.
As much as everything changes, things remain the same. The old saying, South Dakota State they're still better than UND, and UND they got in the playoffs, but I just don't have any
UND
confidence.
is better, but they're 0-3 in Dakota games. If you're one of the Dakota schools, you can't go 0-3. You just can't do it.
And they did it. And USD surprisingly went 2-1. I would never have guessed that when they came to Fargo.
And then the last one, Lamar lost to McNeese 21-19. That nearly cost Lamar a playoff spot as well. Final Missouri Valley Football Conference standings. The Bison finish at 8-0, unbeaten, no questions asked, number 1 seed. South Dakota finishes second, UND in third. Youngstown, Illinois State, and South Dakota State all playoff teams with 4 or 5 wins. Southern Illinois, they finish in that bottom half at 4-4 with that win over Illinois State. Northern Iowa, hey, Murray State got a win. How about that? And Indiana State down there at the bottom. So again, we got 6 teams in out of the conference. Even SIU got 7, and Jim Ogle won a football game. So we should be. We'll talk about that later in the show. But again, best conference in FCS. I don't care what Jay Walker says. It's the best conference in FCS.
We should do the bracket reveal.
Should.
Or anybody else.
Because we know to ask questions to the committee, unlike Jay Walker and Ian Goliath. Sorry,
that was an embarrassment. Apparently, Dan Jackson took over for John Stiegelmeyer.
Yeah, amazing how that works.
But yeah, talk about these conference standings. If you told me before the year the top 3 teams would be the Bison, USD, and UND, I would have believed you.
Yeah.
About 2 months ago, I would have thought you were crazy.
Yeah.
So, like I said, as much as things change, they remain the same.
Yeah. Much thing that are differ every year is we're going to do our own Missouri Valley Football Conference all conference teams and awards because we think we can pick it better than the people who actually vote on this stuff.
Yeah.
So the player coach of the year awards, I think Tim Polasek is going to win the coach of the year without any question. We both voted on this, so we voted Polasek as the coach of the year. Bo Brungart's going to win player of the year. Those stats are just absurd. He's going to win that award. Lance Rucker is going to be our defensive player of the year. One of the best edge rushers in the conference. And then we have Reese Kessel as the newcomer/freshman of the year because of the way he's been playing at tight end.
Yeah, there's not a ton of freshman candidates this year. Like last year, there was a standout in Marty Brown. It was obvious. And the defense was a little tough to pick, too, because there's not a Mike Grace out there.
Yeah.
The offense and coach of the year is obvious. I mean, if Polasek doesn't win it, I don't know what to say because you go undefeated in the conference, you should win that award no matter what.
Yeah. Moving on to our all-conference teams. So on the offensive side of the ball, we're not going to go through every single name on this list, but we have Brungart as the first-team quarterback, Phillips and Penny were the backs, Lance Sobkowitz and Tom Zach are the receivers, Kessel's the tight end, There's the offensive line and the all-purpose players. Cole Payton got the second team nod. Sawyer Seidel and Julius Lockridge were the running backs. You can see the receivers and the offensive line. We have Rajon Nelson down there as the all-purpose player. And the list of honorable mentions is deep. It's like Sam Hagan, who is probably the best offensive line for South Dakota State. He had some injuries, so he couldn't be on this list. But it's the best conference in the FCS with the best players. I think that's if this was an all-conference team that they all played, they would smoke everybody else. They all put together their best teams.
Yeah, and last year Bo Brungar got the all-purpose player. So I think that's what Cole Payton will get this year, and then he'll get the quarterback second team, even though he's good enough to be the first team. But there's a lot of good running backs in this conference this year, so that was kind of tough to pick a little bit. And Rashad Rochelle gets in on our team.
Yep. One guy from Indiana State's got to get out there, right? Defensively, again, this is just really deep. And the first team, Lance Rucker, again, he was our Conference Defensive Player of the Year. He's on that team, of course. Linebackers are tough to pick, but we have Kopp, Woolen, and Niekamp, McNeil, and Stalings. All three Bison linebackers are on there. We don't think that's going to happen because there's an anti-NDSU bias when it comes to some of this stuff. But Wilson and Nene are in there on the defensive line for NDSU. Kobe Claiborne, great player from South Dakota State. He's on our second team. Again, this conference is deep with linebackers. Michael Wells, Cullen McShane, Ryan Crandall, Joe Ullman. A lot of good players there. Special teams, Ozick is the kicker. Max Pelham has been a great year as the punter for South Dakota State. And then Jackson Williams is the return man. Again, I hope our picks look something like the actual all-conference ballot, because you got to give the Bison their flowers somewhat.
Yeah, and one guy that's left off here that's been hurt since that marker game is Chase Van Toll. Yeah. He was probably their best guy.
Lofton Ogroski, too. He's not on this list either.
He was a stud. And, I mean, the linebacker thing, Kopp is going to be first team just because he's been here so long. And Woolen should be. Staling is the one I worry about because he's been such a rock in the middle there. I just don't think they're going to give him his flowers. I think he's going to be honorable mention at best, if I'm being honest, just because of the other guys that are here. Like Malachi McNeil and Ty Niekamp are going to be first team. They're seniors. Cullen McShane is going to be in the mix. Ryan Crandall. Those are the two guys that are probably going to be ahead of him.
Okay, we'll leave this graphic up, but hot takes that can be crossed off this week. There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. So you have way more than I do, so it's your case, Sergeant. Go ahead.
Usually I make a graphic for this, and I looked back this week. I'm like, we can't do it. There's too many.
You have like 20 on here.
So, yeah, week 3, I said the Bison get the 1 seed, the Jacks get the 2, and they meet in Nashville. Nope. South Dakota misses the playoffs. Looked awesome at the time. Okay, they turn it around. UND gets a top 8 seed in week 4, I said. The same week, I said NDSU gets the 1 seed. Or no, this is the same one. No, sorry. Week 6, Harvard is a top 8 seed.
Close.
They should have been if they beat Yale. Monmouth is a quarterfinalist.
Missed the playoffs.
Wow. Harvard becomes the first Ivy League team to reach the playoffs. They made it. They weren't the first because they didn't get the auto.
Correct.
Thanks, Harvard. Yeah. I said UND was going to beat SDSU, and I said that a while back. I said that like a month ago.
Nope.
Before the Bison played the Salukis, I said they'd win 2 playoff games.
Nope.
That might be my worst one.
That might be the worst one.
Worst one of the year. I said Tarleton would be a top 2 seed.
Close.
Yeah, I still have them going to the semi, so that could be the correct one.
He did get some right, though.
Yeah, I said in week 4, this is 10 weeks ago, SoCon gets 1 playoff team. Mercer, correct. I also said Mercer would be the first back-to-back SoCon champion since Wofford.
Correct.
Correct. The Valley gets 5+ playoff teams. Got that one right.
Mm-hmm.
I said NDSU will be the only Missouri Valley football team to receive a first-round top 8 seed. I think that was kind of a slam dunk. I had Trey Drake will appear in a game.
Got it.
Barely. Well, not barely. He played in the 4th. I said Chase Mason will not play the remainder of the regular season.
Ding, ding, ding.
I don't think he's going to play the rest of the year, honestly. And then I said the Bison would win their final 2 games by a margin of 80+ points.
Correct.
And it was
What was the final point? Do we know what the final one was?
First one was 32 and then 55. So it was 87.
87.
So it was a hot take.
All right. Before I start, I have to apologize. My buddy Jaden Cohn at the Vedette in Illinois State said to be a top 5 seed. Don't lose to Southern Illinois. Maybe we could have this conversation.
Yeah.
But no, they blew it. So they're not in there. I said Don will be a Buck Buchanan Award finalist. He was not.
Just got announced.
Yeah. So Logan Kopp was, but not Donovan Woolen. I think Woolen's been the best of the 3. But again, Kopp is just so stable in the middle that we kind of overlooked him a little bit. And I think I did too. And then from last week, Montana State would beat Montana by 14+. Should have known better on that one. I thought UND was the better team. I thought
did
they were
too.
better than South Dakota State. I thought they were at home. They don't lose in the Alara Center, and they blew it. Just say it. They're up 20-7 in that game and blew it.
Terrible
Come on,
turnover.
UND. I back you one time and you burn me. It's typical at this rivalry, I guess.
Brutal.
And then a couple ones I did get right because I don't have the laundry list like he does from last week. But 3 ones I got right. Cole Payton only plays the first half. He only played the first half. He didn't even finish the first half. Bison score 50-plus points. Yep. And the Bison rack up 600-plus yards of total offense. They almost did that in the first half.
Yeah.
So on the hot takes, now again, I finished 38% on my hot takes. Less than 50% is not great. You at least got to 43%, but so far,
Yeah.
43% on yours. Hot takes are yours this week, so what do you got?
The Valley will only have 2 teams reach the quarterfinals. I'm not going to get specific on this because I know it'll burn me, but if I had to, off the record, I'd say Bison and USD.
Okay.
I have Bo Brungart's going to be on an FBS roster in 2026.
Michigan State's probably on the phone right now.
Yeah, I just don't see Youngstown having the funds for this guy. He's too good. And then this one might piss some people off. NDSU is going to win their 3 preliminary games, round games by 10-plus points. So they're going to win the second round, quarters, semis by 10 or more each game.
Yep.
I got Abilene going to the quarterfinals. I think that's sort of a hot take. I think that program's on the rise. And then I have Nathan Hazel playing at least 75% of the NDSU's playoff games. I just think they're gonna get up enough in the quarters and second round that he's gonna get some action and maybe even in the semis. But yeah, those are my hot takes for the week.
Yeah, I think you're right on almost all of these. I think the Valley getting to the Bison thing is a shoe in.
Yep.
Getting South, UND is not going to get past the second round. They could win this week and it wouldn't shock me. I don't know if they're going to Tarleton and winning. That offense is electric to go in there. I think South Dakota though could happen. Brungart's gone. I just say for the conference you like him to stay because he's a good player and he's what keeps the conference being talked about is because of how good Brungart is.
Yep.
He's not going to stay.
No.
I could see a Big Ten school like Northwestern or Michigan State because Aiden Charleston had a great career at Michigan State. I think they would bring him in a heartbeat and say, hey, you want to help us get back on track in the Big Ten? I think he would do that. They're gonna crush their preliminary opponents. I mean, they play what? Southeast Louisiana. Okay, UC Davis is the worst seeded team by. I think they're worse than 9 through 16 on a lot of these.
Mm-hmm.
They would blow them out. And then they played Tarleton or Lehigh. They blow them out too. I think that's a pretty safe bet. Abilene Christian. Let's see, where are they seeded here? 10th. Yeah, that could happen. That could happen. I feel good about that. Nathan Hayes will play in all 3 playoff games. I think that's going to happen.
Yep.
So those are the hot takes for the week. Injury report is pretty short. It's Josh Magan, right tackle. I think it's a high ankle sprain. We haven't gotten official word on that yet, but he may go. He may not. If he doesn't, and it's Bo Johnson and it's Ryan Babbitts to be those tackles. So I wouldn't worry all that much about that. Cole Payton, he had a bruise on his knee. He's got 12 days.
He'll be all right.
He'll be fine. We're not worried about that. Oh boy, now let's get to this. The official 2025 playoff bracket. We did okay. We got I think we got 22 right, I think, is what we got. So if we're doing that on Wednesday before the weekend start, I think we'll take 22 and feel good.
Oh, yeah. We did it a week earlier than everyone else. Like, if we did this last week, I think we would have gotten 23 because we would have had Monmouth in instead of, I don't know who got in that we didn't have. But anyway, the seeding is what.
South Dakota State's not in.
Yeah.
In our projection, they're in here.
Yeah. I don't think we would have had UND getting in if we did this last week either. So,
no.
But there's a lot of issues here. If we want to get to
go ahead, tear into it.
Okay, I want you go to UC Davis and USD side-by-side comparison. USD has 3 ranked wins. They beat South Dakota State and UND. UC Davis's best win, Northern Arizona.
Ouch.
And USD is way behind. Rhode Island, 10 Division I wins. UC Davis, 8. They're behind them. Abilene Christian has an argument to be above UC Davis. UC Davis, I don't think they belong in the top 8. I don't think they belonged in the top 10. Tennessee Tech. If you go undefeated against FCS opponents, you get a top 8 seed, bare minimum.
You should.
Colgate is that 2018 run. They were undefeated. They were the 8th seed, well deserving.
Yeah.
They weren't going to be any higher than that.
No.
This Tennessee Tech has all the right in the world to be ticked about this, and I hope they take it out on UND for our sake. And then another thing, if you're going to do a bracket reveal a month before the bracket comes out, do it correctly. Do not have Lehigh ahead of Tarleton and then flip it.
Yeah.
You have to do it the right way. I think other than that, South Dakota State getting seeded. I didn't have an issue with that
No.
at 8 wins.
Nope.
I feel for the Drake Bulldogs. That's all I'll say.
Well, that's actually a regular season rematch. They play each
Yeah,
other because the
that's-
rule is if it's conference opponents in the first round, you can't play those games, but you could play non-conference games again. So they're going to play South Dakota and Drake again. I wasn't annoyed. I was more surprised that I saw because Mercer was 6, and I thought
Yeah.
we had him at 7. So okay, that makes sense. And then I see Stephen F. Austin come up at 7. That surprised me. You could have knocked me over when I saw that.
Yeah.
And then you could have knocked me out when UC Davis was seen as the 8. What went through their minds to put Davis at 8? We asked Tim about it too, earlier in this show. He gave the answer we expect. We'll take whoever we get.
Yeah.
That's what he's supposed to say. What went through their minds, and when you're voting, you go, oh yeah, UC Davis is the 8th best team in the country.
Well,
I don't get it.
Yeah, and when Mercer got the 6, I'm like, okay, that makes a
Then
little
Tennessee
bit of sense.
Tech is at 7.
Yeah,
or
then Tennessee
something like
Tech's
that.
7, and Mercer has probably a better resume
Correct.
overall. They're red hot right now. But then Stephen F. Austin gets there, and I didn't really see that, but I was like, okay, whatever. Tennessee Tech's got to be the 8.
Yep.
They're not even 9. They're not even 10. They're 13.
13.
It doesn't make any sense.
By the way, Stephen F. Austin was 14 in the polls this year. They jump up to 7?
They played a D2 team.
7 spots?
Yeah.
What?
I do not understand it.
All right, I'll ask you one question. It's not on our list. Do Montana fans, both Montana schools, do they have a gripe this week? Because the Grizz are likely to play South Dakota State in the second round.
Yeah.
Montana is going to get Bo Brungard, likely get Bo Brungard and the Penguins in the second round. That's not fun for a second round game.
It always. This is just how it's going to be because the Valley schools that go 8-4 are always going to be the back end
Correct.
of the seeds, and the teams like Villanova, Tennessee Tech, Rhode Island, they're always going to be in the middle. So unless you get that number 1, you're probably. I think they have the right to have a little bit of it. Montana State more than Montana. Montana hosting the Jacks. I don't see the Jacks going in there and winning.
No.
Bo Brungard is scary.
Chase Mason going to play?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But Bo Brungard coming to Bozeman, I'd be a little scared if I was a Bobcat fan. They should win, but I do think they have something to be worried about.
Does that annoy you, the Chase Mason stuff? I just, it's funny. They let Peaches and Cream into
for a reason.
Into their practice, which are usually closed. They open this one up just to let them shoot video Chase Mason at 7-on-7. They warm him up on Saturday and then don't play him.
Yeah.
Like, stop it. Is it turf toe? Is it Liz Frank? What is it? Just come out and say it. Why is this so difficult for them?
The marker week I understood because you're playing the Bison, you got to have an edge in some way. Indiana State and then so on. We knew he wasn't playing. Just come out and say it.
Yeah.
Please. And then don't. I get Christian Watson did it in the semifinal where he came out dressed and then didn't play. I think he actually was trying to play.
Yeah.
Chase Mason was not playing on Saturday. That's just. I think Dan Jackson's playing too much mind games. Just say if he's playing or not. I mean, does it make the difference at this point?
That's like if he had Lofton Ogroski and Chase Mantola out there just to warm up. Like, he's not going to do that.
No.
Just say it with the quarterback. I think it was just the conspiracy that, hey, if we win this game, we're 8-4. Let us in. We may get our quarterback back. They're not winning that second round game against Montana. They're just not.
Mm-mm. And I think they would have gotten. I honestly, something tells me that the fact that UND wasn't in the last 4 in tells me the Jacks would have gotten in if they were 7-5. I just think something weird with this committee would have happened. But Chase Mason's not playing, guys. Let's just get over it.
You know what else was fun and bizarre? His tears. They were really fun to watch. So
I love this.
So first FCS tiers for the first round of the postseason. First tier, the future of the FCS title game, Bison Bobcats.
Yeah, if James Madison would have stayed in FCS, we knew that was going to be the title game at least every other year, and it was. And this is what this is going to become until one of these two loses their coach, moves up. This is the FCS title game. It's going to be Polasek versus Vegan, or whoever's taking over for Vegan. We'll see. The future.
Tier number 2, going to lose to their rivals twice in 1 year. That's Montana. Montana
is average. I'm going to say it. They're not that good, and they couldn't beat their rival at home. They're always in a game when they play in Missoula. The fact that they're going to go to Bozeman if they can get there, I do not trust them to win there. They're going to lose twice to their rivals.
Made the playoffs and celebrated like they just won the Super Bowl. That's South Dakota State.
Yeah, I guess I got to cut them some slack. You lose for a month straight at that program, you're in the gutter, and they finally pulled one out in a miraculous fashion. But they did celebrate a little excessive. They knew they were going to the playoffs when they won. That was Jack Henry made a great play. Peaches and cream, we get it. You don't need to. It doesn't need to be so excessive online.
Yeah, there's no need to celebrate about. I mean, they hadn't won in a month, so I guess who cares?
Yeah.
But somehow got into the tournament, but who cares? It's hockey season because I'm looking. Bemidji State's on the 28th, so they're worried about Bemidji State more than they are Tennessee Tech, but UND's in.
Yeah, you live in Grand Forks. Okay, you had your Thanksgiving meal. Tomorrow we're going to hockey game. Oh, wait, we play football on Saturday?
Oh, wait, they're at Bemidji State, and then they host it's the home-and-home weekend series with Bemidji State, so go Beavers.
We'll get to it with our bracket in a bit, but UND on the road, don't trust them at all. That's why if they want to make a run, they got to be in the Alaris Center, and it's not happening.
Just happy to be here. Drake, Central Connecticut State.
Yeah, it's the punching bag of the FCS playoffs every year. It's whoever comes out of the whatever that conference is.
The Pioneer and the Northeast Conference.
The Northeast. And Drake, I feel so bad for him because whoever is in the Valley that is in the first round, they're going there because they're from Iowa. It sucks for them. But
great logos, though.
Yes.
Their logos are awesome. Other than that. And finally, Jimmy Ogle won a football game. Murray State, bottom of the tiers. Jimmy James Ogle has won a football game. It's their second conference win in 30-something tries. And, of course, it's against the same team in the trees in Indiana State.
Extend Jody Wright.
Extend Jody Wright, yes.
Give him an extension. This Jim Ogle has one of the worst touchdown to interception ratios that I've seen.
Gunslinger.
Yeah. So, but anyway, they won a football game finally. And by the way, Murray State beat Indiana State. Who did Indiana State beat again?
South Dakota State.
Just putting it out there.
I rest my case. He rests his case.
Just putting it out there.
All right, we're gonna go because we don't have a pick 'em anymore because that's with me. So we'll go through the entire bracket. All right, brace yourselves. Here we go. First game we're gonna pick. I'm gonna pick Southeast Louisiana and Illinois State. Southeast Louisiana has not lost a game at Strawberry Stadium all year long. Illinois State has not lost a road game all year long. All their losses came at Hancock Stadium, believe it or not. And because of the high school championships, they can't play there anyway. So who cares? I'm going Southeast Louisiana to win this game. I just feel better about them right now than I do Illinois State. Illinois State lost by 30 last week. Yeah. An SIU team that is playing for nothing but pride. So I'll take them to win that game. Moving on down, Rhode Island, Central Connecticut. I like Rhodey. They don't score a ton of points, but again, you're playing Central Connecticut. You should win that game. Interesting one here, Tennessee Tech against UND. I'm going Tennessee Tech. I like them to win this one. UND, their losses are confusing to me, and I'm just not sure what to think of them right now moving forward. So I'm going to just go with my gut. I'm going to take UND. I'm kidding. I have my pick wrong. I screwed that up. I have UND winning this game. Backtrack what I just said and think about what I'm going to say now. North Dakota, they're 7-5. You got to pick an upset.
Yeah.
And I think UND can pull that upset. Tennessee Tech, we lost to Kentucky. The Big South OVC is terrible. Let's just admit it and say it what it is. It's horrible. So I'm going to take UND. I totally looked at my pick wrong before I said that previous stuff. So whatever it is,
it's all good.
It is what it is. And then I'm going to take Harvard to beat Villanova. They're 9-1. I get their schedule doesn't look great, but I like Harvard. I don't know how to explain it more, but I'm just going to go with the Crimson to win that game. Other side of the bracket, I think it's pretty predictable. I'm going to take Youngstown to beat Yale. I think that's a pretty given one to pick them to win that one. I'm going to go who am I going to go with here? I'm going to go with Abilene Christian over Lamar. Lamar is weird. They kind of backed into the postseason. They're going to back their way out of it. I'm going to take them there. South Dakota State is going to beat New Hampshire, and then pretty easily I'm going to take South Dakota to beat Drake. There's a lot of slides, just I'm going to go through these quickly. Bison against Southeastern Louisiana, I'm going to take NDSU. I don't think that's any surprise there. Rhode Island UC Davis is interesting because both teams, I don't know how much I like either team. Rhodey can't score, and Davis doesn't have an interesting win all season long. I'm going to take the team I believe in more, and that's Rhode Island. I like Rhode Island to win over the 9 seeds, so the boys from Hack City can watch their team get crushed in the quarterfinals. And then UND and Tarleton, give me Tarleton. I don't think that's any surprise there. Tarleton's they're basically this version of this 2020 version of Sam Houston State.
Yes.
They can score a ton of points. They can't stop anybody, and they shouldn't even be a top 8 seed if they lost to Austin Peay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take Tarleton to win that one. And then I'm going to take Lehigh to beat Harvard. I think the miracle run ends with Harvard. I'd love to see them get further along in the playoffs, but I'm going to take Lehigh Moving along to the other side of the bracket, I think Montana State and Youngstown is a shootout, but I really like Montana State to win that. I think it's like a 45-42 kind of game. It could be just a really fun football game between those two. Absolute cinema. SFA, Abilene Christian. I don't. That's a really close one for me to go pick. But I'm gonna take Stephen F. Austin. I have more faith in Stephen F. Austin than I do Abilene Christian. And then this could be a really good game at South Dakota State. Chase Mason plays. I think this could be a really fun game in Missoula, but I just don't believe in them enough. They're just so injury depleted.
Yeah.
They just are. I'm gonna take South Dakota State, or take Montana to beat South Dakota State, and then Mercer in South Dakota. I'm gonna go with Mercer. South Dakota's got to go on the road, and they've looked good to end the regular season, but Mercer in that offense. Damn, do they look impressive. In South Dakota, their defense is not what it was from years past. It's still pretty decent.
Yeah.
It's better than what it was when they came up here and got boat raced, but I like Mercer to win that one. Quarterfinal games, I'm just going to go through them quick. I got the Bison, I got Tarleton, I got Montana State, I got Montana. I said in our bracket special who I thought top 4 teams are going to be. I'm just going to stick with that prediction. And then I'm going to go NDSU against Montana State. This is going to be the title game for the foreseeable future.
Yes.
Until Montana steps up and wins, until Tarleton steps up and wins a semifinal, this is going to be your game. And I have NDSU winning the national championship. I don't know. I couldn't give you an exact score, but right now that's what I'm going with. I know I talk fast and I screw up one of my picks, but that's what I'm going with for my picks anyways. So, Ibach, what do you got?
I'm going to take Tommy Rittenhouse and Illinois State. I think this is one of the better games of Thanksgiving weekend. Great quarterback matchup. Carson Camp is still playing at the age of 34. So,
how old is he? He's 206.
Yeah, I'll take Illinois State to win that game. Rhody in Central Connecticut, one of the sleepers. I don't think I'm going to watch a minute of this. I'm just going to take the seeded team in Rhode Island.
Okay.
Tennessee Tech, UND, another great game. I just do not trust the Ohio Valley. I think UND can sneak a win out, though it's on the road. I think they'll keep it close, but I'll take UND. Harvard Villanova, very interesting. The Ivy League's first playoff game. Villanova's just meh to me. They're never over that hump. I'll take Harvard to win that one. Youngstown and Yale, I don't think Yale can keep up. Bo Brungar is going to go crazy in the playoffs. Youngstown, and I'm not going to think about it. Abilene and Lamar, it's like Lamar just doesn't score, and that doesn't work when you're in the Southland. Abilene Christian is on a heater. I think they win this game handily to get to the second round. Jackson, New Hampshire, South Dakota State has looked awful at home this year, but they're playing a CAA team. They're not losing. Yeah. South Dakota State's going to win in front of 2,000 people.
Correct.
South Dakota and Drake, I don't even have to say anything there. South Dakota's going to win by a lot of points, and they're better than they were when they played them earlier. Illinois State coming to the Dome. I don't like Illinois State playing the Bison twice in a year, even though that worked in 2019. They almost won here.
Yeah.
This team is not going to do that. The Bison win handily. UC Davis and Rhode Island, kind of another sleepy quarter or second round game. UC Davis has just not impressed me. They have a lot of injuries. Rhode Island doesn't score a lot though. Close game, I'd say, but I'm going to take Rhody. This is a popular pick around the country to get to the quarters. Tarleton and UND. I said it before, UND can't win on the road, but I still think they keep this close. UND is a good team, but I don't trust UND to go on a playoff.
Beat a quality team on the road.
Yeah, they can't. They just can't do it. They can't do it twice in a row. I got Tarleton. Harvard and Lehigh. This is really interesting because it's two teams that don't usually have success in the playoffs, and one team's never been there. Lehigh does not score points. Harvard scores points. Give me Harvard into the quarterfinals.
Okay.
Montana State, Youngstown. I would love for Bo Brungar to go in here and get a win, be a Penguin legend.
Yep.
Brent Vigen's not going to lose this game. They're not going to lose in the second round like they did in 2023.
Yeah.
Not happening. Montana State wins. Stephen F. Austin, Abilene. This is a rematch from the regular season. Stephen F. Austin scores a lot of points. Abilene plays up to the competition and down. I'm just going to take Abilene. I think they can beat them again, get to the quarters as a 10 seed. Montana, South Dakota State. I said it, Montana's a different team at home. South Dakota State has been better on the road this year. I think this would be a really good game. People would think it would be a blowout. I give the Jacks a chance, but I'm going to take the Grizz. I just can't bet against them in Missoula. And this is my favorite quarterfinal matchup, Mercer and South Dakota. South Dakota's on a heater. Mercer's been playing out of their minds basically since Braden Atkinson took over. Yeah. And South Dakota, we said they couldn't win a shootout. Well, they can. They beat Southern Illinois. So
Yep.
I'm taking South Dakota. This is going to be a shootout. And now the quarters, Rhode Island and NDSU. This is my pick for the Bison to have a 27-0 win. Just a terrible, ugly game.
Did you see they do this in every
quarterfinal? They haven't played well in the quarters in a long time, and I see that continuing, but they win. Harvard and Tarleton for a trip to Fargo. Give me that all day. Harvard scores a lot of points.
You're not picking Harvard, are you?
No. I'm going to take Tarleton, but
Okay.
Harvard would keep it close for a few quarters. Tarleton's legit. They're gonna win this game. Montana State, Abilene, Texas school going to a cold place.
No thanks.
I never take that. It never goes well. It reminds me of Furman going to Missoula. That's
True.
not happening.
Yep.
Montana State wins. South Dakota going to Missoula. South Dakota has experience going to Montana. They played there in the semis last year.
So they Montana State last year.
Yeah, and I think it's easier to win in Bozeman than it is in Missoula. So I got to take Montana. As boring as it is, they go scratch 1 through 4.
Mm-hmm.
The Bison and Tarleton, you said it, Sam Houston. It's the same team. The Bison are going to win this game. They might give up 30, but the Bison are going to score 50.
Yeah, true.
Montana State, Brawl of the Wild 2.0.
Yes, please. Is the trophy on the line for this one too?
Probably
should
not.
be, but
yeah, it should.
It's not.
I said it before. Montana's going to lose their rivals twice. Brent Vegan, Tim Polasek in the title game yet again.
Let's do it.
Pretty similar bracket. I think the Bobcats are overall a better team this year, but their quarterback is not as good. Lamson
Correct.
is not Tommy Malott.
No, he is not.
Bison are better than they were last year. The Bison bring home back-to-back national championships.
Okay. That was a lot for us to go through in a short amount of time, so we apologize for talking really fast and me screwing up one of the picks, but that's neither here nor there. So no game this week for us to preview, but watch Southeast Louisiana, Illinois State. It's at 1 p.m. on ESPN+. The winner takes on NDSU next Saturday at the Dome for a trip to the quarterfinals. Before we go, follow us on X at Bison Overtime for more content from us. 178 followers now.
Yeah.
Take that and run. 1,000 views on the bracketology special. We thank you for that. And thanks to our entire crew, which is just our Lone Ranger, Cash Rowan in the back for saving some time for us, for sticking around and helping us out film today. Again, thanks to Coach Polasek and for everybody at NDSU Athletics. We appreciate you letting us come up to your office and shoot that stuff. So we'll sign off, and we'll see you next week. For Ethan Eibach and Cash Rowan, this is Grant Hubbard saying so long. This has been the Bison Overtime Show. Thank you for watching, and go Bison. We'll see you next week.